people. I'm talking about liquid. Rich enough to have your own jet. Rich enough not to waste time. Well, in my book, you either do it right or you get eliminated. They're analysts. They don't know preferred stock from livestock, all right? The new law of evolution in corporate America seems to be survival of the unfittest.
Good evening, stock traders, and welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio here on a beautiful Thursday night, February the 9th, 2012. I am your host, STT. Joining me on tonight's program, I have Hans.
Hey, Mike. How's it going?
Fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
I'm doing wonderful.
That's good to hear. Also joining us on the program tonight, I have Mr. Kopp.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Fantastic, sir. How about yourself?
Oh, loving it. This is a very exciting evening.
Oh, yeah. It's very exciting, actually. Last night's show, if you missed it, we did a stock spotlight on NXOI. 50 minutes of DD on that company. If you missed it, you might want to catch that up on Investors Hub. Now, tonight's show, we have another exclusive CEO interview for you. Doing tonight's interview is Mr. Kopp. So, Mr. Kopp, take it away, sir.
Thanks, Mike. We're here with Ms. Karen Person, the Chairman, CEO, and President of Select Business and Corporation Opportunities, Inc., stock ticker SBCO. Also joining us today is Mr. Simon Edwards, Board of Director member of SBCO and CEO of AstraJet. Both of our guests have a rich and successful history in business, and Ms. Person has a diverse background to include writer, director, producer, and thespian, to which, as we will learn during this interview, will add value to SBCO as the company moves forward with its business plan. In this interview, I'd like to cover the planned filing of an N2 to establish SBCO as a business development company, as well as the assets to be targeted to be placed under the BDC. Welcome to Stock Traders Talk Radio, Ms. Person and Mr. Edwards.
Well, thank you for having us tonight. Looking forward to it.
Good evening.
Good evening. Well, let's begin with you, Ms. Person. Would you briefly provide us a little background about yourself, your education, business expertise, associations, et cetera?
Okay. My background is pretty diverse. You could say I've been to the moon and back, but I was brought up with a CPA as a father, and I started working for him when I was about 5 years old, trying to balance sheets, and pretty funny, right? My mother was pretty diverse, and she also invested in the stock market, so she had me invested in the stock market probably when I was 6.
Wow.
Moving forward from that, I always knew that I wanted to go to New York, and I wanted to get out of Louisville, Kentucky, which I did, and I started planning to do that probably when I was 5, and I found out that downtown had more than one street, and I went to Rockefeller Center, and I saw the my escape, so I wanted to go to New York, and I started planning my escape from Louisville. Graduated from high school early, graduated from college early, and packed up my car and with very little money and went to New York to pursue an acting career, but I wasn't really great at doing menial tasks, so I ended up going to law school on Wall Street. Let's see, what else? I had I had success. I've been in a lot of movies, TV shows, soap operas, Broadway, started working my way up at a boutique firm on Wall Street, and that's the story, and here I am tonight.
It's pretty diverse background. Now I can understand how you're taking the stock expertise that you got to a new level. Well, earlier I introduced you as the Chairman, CEO, President of Select Business and Corporation Opportunities, Inc., but yet SBCO is listed on the OTC Pink Sheets as the Small Business Company. Why is that?
Well, I was actually asked to come in and take over this company. We had been working on it for quite a few months, and I think the change took place in May. So it was always the small business company. I think it started trading, and they applied in 2006 and started trading in 2007 as the small business company. And I think they had a pretty good idea that maybe the chairman of the board and some of the officers got lost along the way. So I was asked by some shareholders, some note holders, and the major shareholder who is also on our board, Paul Fernandale, of Fernandale Tennis, to come in and take over and restructure the whole company. I am familiar with BDCs, as I've had my own private BDC for many years, and I am feeding a lot of my companies that I'm already familiar with, have run and pretty much control into the SBCO BDC. I came up with the name so we could use the same symbol, and we applied just a couple, like last week, to the Secretary of State to Delaware, and we filed our papers with FINRA.
Excellent. Could you explain to the audience what a BDC is?
The BDC is a business development company. They're very popular now. Since about February of 2011, I think there have maybe been 144 that have been filed. A business development company actually is a closed-end venture capital firm, and it allows the companies within it, which are usually private companies and small growth companies, to obtain capital and financial consulting expertise in order to grow their companies. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to. It also gives investors a really good opportunity to invest in companies within a public company that are actually private companies where they might not get to do so. They may, if they got to invest in a private placement or a Reg D, but this way they get to invest in a liquid public company.
Understand. Now, understanding fully that you're in the early stages of developing SBCO. In your press release today, you made mention of companies that would be targeted to be placed under the so-called BDC umbrella of SBCO. Would you please describe these entities and in doing so, explain what attracted your attention to these particular businesses?
Well, I'm going to give you that we do have 8 sectors. I'm not going to name all the companies because as I pointed out in the press release, we're looking at companies and we have accepted some companies, and one of our first company is Astrojet. I've been working with Simon for about 3 years on Astrojet and have come to know him very well. I mean, he's just he's what flying is all about, and I look to him to run an airline. So I'm very excited about that. So the 8 areas that we are going to be investing in are food and beverage, retail, green and environmental, travel and leisure, entertainment, which includes film, TV, media, and music, broadband communications, elder and baby boomer services, and then lifestyle living, real estate development. So that gives you 8 different areas, very diverse.
I would say very, very diverse. How about if we go this route? Would you take this opportunity now and introduce Mr. Edwards? I'm sure the audience would love to hear from the CEO of Astrojet as one of the companies that you mentioned in the press release.
Yes, I have Mr. Simon Edwards. He is the CEO of Astrojet. It is the first company to be included in the SBCO, and we're very happy to have him, and I'm very honored to have him as a company, a partner, and on our board of directors, and I will turn the floor over to Simon.
Thanks, Karen. If anybody wants to hear my history of where I've come from, I've certainly not been to the moon like yourself. My bringing up is far more down to earth, although I have spent 25 years working at 35,000 feet for airlines, pretty much since I left school in 1983. So that's me. Nothing just as exciting as Karen, I'm afraid.
All right, Ms. Person, may we ask you to please elaborate on any and all other key personnel involved with SBCO, for example, your other board of director members or CEOs of the additional targeted companies?
Well, Paul Fernandale, who was a major shareholder of SBCO, small business company, is the owner of Fernandale Tennis. He's quite renowned in California, all over California, for building tennis courts, basketball courts, outdoor gymnasiums, anything having to do with the rich and the famous in California, and he is an expert at it and has been doing it for quite a long time, and I welcome his expertise in business. Those are our board members at the moment.
Sure.
Along with myself and Simon.
Gotcha. Now, earlier we discussed what a BDC is. Would you please inform us the role of how SBCO will play in the management of the companies to be placed under the BDC, if any?
Well, yes, we will. We will have a seat on the board of directors of the companies. The companies are still private companies. Each individual company that is included in a BDC can ultimately go public on its own. We retain a certain interest in the companies, let's just say from 5 to 20% of each of the companies, and we will provide them with whatever kind of expertise they need. If they need a CFO, we would have a CFO for them on a temporary contract position. They need some kind of financial consulting. Obviously, they're coming to us to raise money for them. We will be able to do that. We can provide all of those consulting services, marketing services, whatever it is that they need, media services, PR. We will be able to do that for them. And that's part of the function of a BDC, to be able to provide the companies within it these exceptional services where otherwise it's kind of like an incubator effect where they might have to go out with 10 different people to be able to acquire the services they need at a very high cost.
I understand that completely. It's an amazing concept, to tell you the truth. I mean, I'm trying to get trying to figure out how the success of those companies, when placed in the BDC, I mean, how's that result in capital appreciation for SBCO and, ultimately for the shareholders?
Well, obviously, if you look at any of the other BDCs that are on the market today, and I can tell you one big one, it's Golub. It's GOLUB. When it came out as an IPO, it had over 400 companies within the BDC itself, and I don't know that any of them were synergistic because there were so many companies, there are 400 companies.
Sure.
The way that obviously if the company is that we believe in the company, so we wouldn't be investing in them and we wouldn't be taking them into the BDC, nor will we be providing them with services. So when they're successful, we're successful because we own 20% or 19, as in Astrojet, we own 19%. The BDC owns 19% of Astrojet. We also make money. A BDC makes money from contractual consulting services, so we receive fees for consulting services and financial services. There are different ways to fund the companies. They can be funded with stock purchases, with A and B stock, and there can be funded with convertible subordinated debentures that pay interest. So that's money. We lend them money. They pay us back.
Gotcha. Now, let's shift gears to the industries. I mean, can you elaborate on the significance of the industries and the diverse marketplaces that you have selected?
Well, obviously travel and leisure. Obviously Astrojet. One of our other companies is a fairly, and I'm not at liberty to say them because it hasn't been announced in the news yet, and that's really, that's a rule. I haven't announced it. But I can say that they're also not only they're in travel and leisure, but they're also in food and beverage, and they're a pretty high profile company. I've been an investor with them since 1992. I've been running companies like this. As I said, I had my own company, and it was a private BDC, and I developed other companies, and I invested in other companies. So I've known these people and the owner since 1992. So that's travel and leisure. We have food there also involved in food and beverage. We have the ice cream. I can elaborate a little bit because we pretty much made it, that we are going to be including Squish Delish solutions in the BDC. And Squish Delish is really, it's the greatest ice cream in the world, but it's self-serve, and it's not like a tailor-made machine, and it is real ice cream, and it is any flavor that you can possibly want. Right now we have 8 or 9 flavors, but we can come up with any flavor that you want. And it is really the only patented single-serve ice cream system in the entire world. I mean, we're lucky to have it. And the ice cream industry is just growing by leaps and bounds. As a matter of fact, from an existing base of about $23 billion, we expect it to go to $27 billion by the end of 2012.
Oh, wow. Now regarding your business plan, I mean, what phase would you describe to the audience as a snapshot of your current operations?
Well, we're working toward filing the biggest thing that we're working toward, and there are two. Not through any fault of their own. The fault was in the auditors of the former of SBCO. They were not, the owners and the board of directors were not negligent, but the auditors they chose were, and they had their license taken away. And so when I came in to the scenario, I had to go back and restructure and restate everything going back to 2008. So we do have auditors and we do have accountants, and one of our big things is to become current, and we're planning on, we're working very diligently toward that end, as stated in the press release, and filing the N2, and that's probably the biggest thing. And it is according to the SEC, a 427 or 50-hour process, and we're halfway through.
So basically, right now the stock has a yield sign, and you're planning to make the company current. What would your rough estimate of time frame be?
6 weeks or less, because we're moving on it very quickly.
No,
you mean as far as getting rid of the yield sign and becoming current? I'd have to say it's definitely less than a month, 5 or 6 weeks. Or 4 or 5 weeks, which would be less than a month, yes.
I'm sure your shareholders are loving hearing that. Now, Ms. Person, earlier we touched briefly on your diverse background. I mean, would you elaborate on the topic specifically focusing on how your past experiences will provide the guidance and future growth to the company? And do you see any strategic partners from your past that may ultimately contribute to the success of SBCO?
I have never lost touch with anyone that I've done business with, so I consider everyone that I've known in my business life to be strategic in the development of any plan that I have. As far as how I consider my expertise, I went to Wall Street, as I said, I went to Wall Street and I learned it from the bottom up. I was instrumental in helping start the U.S. Trading Championship, and that tells my age, but I was very young when I went to Wall Street. I mean, very, very young. The U.S. Trading Championship was the first real money trading contest in the world. We're responsible for putting out the technical analysis of Stocks and Commodity magazine and Investors Business Daily on the newsstands. So I know a lot of people, and I know a lot of people where they came from and how they came up in the financial world, and I still keep in touch with them. So I believe that helps me. Also, having run these businesses, I am a shirt sleeve kind of a girl. I like to get in there and do the dirty work, so I just don't stand by the sides. I mean, I've been in some very non-glamorous businesses, such as tire recycling. I could tell you everything that you don't want to know about tire recycling and tire shredders. And in fact, was involved with a NASDAQ company that was involved in tire recycling. I know a lot of things. I do know a lot of things about a lot of things. So I guess I could say I'm a jack of all trades and a man. But I think that I'm a master of of a few of those, and passionate about what I do at all times.
Well, and as with anything in business, networks matter, right? For sure.
I believe in networking. I have a lot of people behind me that are excellent networkers. One of the other companies, we are an environmental, so that would be EnviroSafe. We do have one of the best water purification units that I consider in the world. It's non-chemical, non-electric, and you just put it in there. It's warranted, and it has no salt. It just cleans your water. That's it. It does what you need it to do, and we revolutionized that, where we've made it pretty much, affordable for any household, and that's in use in commercial, agriculture, landscaping.
Oh, excellent. Now, how about from the shareholder perspective? I mean, what can the shareholders expect long term from SBCO?
A lot of shareholder value and I want to say some really good profit that I hope that my shareholders are going to be in it for the long haul. I don't mean forever, but I have a lot of people that have been with me and invested in my other companies, and they have been with me for many, many years, and I thank them so much because they have always had a lot of faith in me and have done well and are waiting to do better.
Excellent. Now, would you please state for the audience what your company's web address is?
The web address is SBCOINC.com, and it is not where we want it to be. It has some information, but we will be updating it every day, and we will have a more professional website within the next couple of weeks, but we wanted to get something up so that we had at least some information. My numbers are there. My investor relations firm is there. Our transfer agent is there. And actually, if you go to the website, it does explain more in depth of what a BDC actually is.
Oh, well, I know I need to do that. Well, in a couple of weeks, when you have everything up and running, would you consider this the best resource for potential investors to learn more about your company then?
I would consider that a resource. I think that our IR firm is an excellent source of information. But can I go back to? I really would like to have Simon explain a little bit about Astrojet because I'm really excited about that, and it is really an exciting concept.
Absolutely, Mr. Edwards.
Okay, we can now talk aeroplanes. Now Karen has spoken about all of their business and everything. Astrojet is the easiest way to explain Astrojet is we've been formed as an indirect air carrier. That, in essence, means that we are not in possession of a Federal Aviation Administration Air Carrier Operating Certificate. Internally, we very much call ourselves a virtual airline. The real nuts and bolts of that is where we basically partner with an existing U.S. carrier, a Part 121 flag carrier, and really we overbrand them so that they operate on our behalf. And then that leaves very much Astrojet in the boat to go out and sell the program. So our partners in flight, in essence, they arrive with an aeroplane. We contract with them, and then we build our product around what they bring to us. In legal terms, they literally will bring the aircraft. They'll bring the trained and licensed flight crew. They'll bring all the maintenance standards, the spare parts, and of course they bring insurance with them. It's very much in the industry what's known as an ACMI deal, where they are the legal holders, they are the legal carrier. And then what we do is working with them is we brand the aeroplane into Astrojet. We add the full Astrojet product, and then in essence, Astrojet becomes the carrier. Legally, we cannot deem the company as an airline because technically, as I've explained, we're an indirect air carrier, and that's where the Astrojet part comes from. We can't call it airlines, we can't call it airways, we can't go down that road. So that is really the basis of what Astrojet is, and this really enables us to begin operations in a very short period of time. We're very much a turnkey operation. We don't have to concern ourselves with owning very expensive assets like aeroplanes, maintenance programs. We don't have to clear ourselves through the FAA as such because our partners in flight already hold all those certifications. So that's very much, in a nutshell, what Astrojet is. And then it's our job, and how we work with Karen, is we then move forward to flying programs, which we hope to be doing this summer, but we already have a program where we will launch in the spring of 2013. Now, there are other carriers, so to speak, that have sort of imitated what we've achieved and what we're moving forward with, but there's nobody does it on the long-haul market. We are predominantly bringing in tourists from around the world. We operate no domestic flights. Our main programs will be coming in from Europe. They were coming in from Brazil to our hub, which is in Sanford, Orlando. We're very much initially serving the Central Florida area for all the theme parks and the major tourist areas. We're a leisure carrier bringing tourists in to the central leisure areas of the U.S. We have future plans to serve Asia and bring passengers into the beautiful islands of Hawaii, and then on to spend some of their dollars that they have left over in the casinos of Las Vegas. We'll always be a predominantly leisure airline, and one of the key factors in our business plan is that we do not sell seats or we do not offer capacity direct to the public. We're a carrier that services the industry, the tourism industry. So all our contracts will be with established tour operators. As an example, we will finalize negotiations and contract with many large European tour operators. They will fully commit to our flying program. They will buy all the seats in advance for a minimum of 26-week periods, and then literally we just operate the flights to bring their package holiday personnel and their staff and all their tourists here to Orlando. It's a very simple formula. It's very common in Europe to be operating flights like this. It's not such an entity that's really worked in the US before, and this is why we're doing it on a long haul basis, because that's where the demand for our product is. We're very much bringing service back into the service industry. All our flights, we offer hot meals, drinks, in-flight entertainment. There's no nickel and dime on Astrojet. There's no charging for baggage. It is all included in the package that we give to the tour operators. So we're very excited about the opportunities that lay ahead.
That's got to be some pretty exciting stuff. I mean, the way you describe that, describes as if you have a pretty huge competitive edge.
Yeah, we really believe so. We really believe within Astrojet that service is the key. We have designed an onboard product, for instance, that is very, very different to what is out there at the moment. It's the style of service. You'll find popcorn and ice creams on our aeroplane. It really is, like I say, putting the service back in. We're all very passionate. We're all very long-standing characters that have been in the industry. I wouldn't go as far as to say well-known in the industry, but we're certainly characters within the industry, and we are very excited about what we're doing. There's a real buzz about it, and we've recently visited all the major tour operators in our chosen markets, and we really have got a buzz going, and we're really excited that there's an extreme amount of interest in what we're doing. And I think one of the keys to what we're doing is if you look at the European tourism market, it's become very vertically integrated. And when I say vertically integrated, you'll have like a tour operator A will have a shop, will have a tour operating product, and will have their own airline. So you're one product all the way through. And what has happened is all the smaller independent tour operators have nowhere to buy their capacity from. And that is the niche that we're filling. We're truly an independent carrier, and an independent carrier for the smaller tour operator. Now, having said that, the large tour operators are also looking to take substantial capacity from us, so that they can grow their markets and grow their products. So it really is truly something different and something very exciting.
Just listen to you talk about this and the things that Ms. Person described earlier. It makes this whole BCD philosophy, pretty exciting for both of you.
Yeah,
we're
absolutely.
very excited about it.
We are. Karen and I have been working together for some time, well over 3 years now. The inception of Astrojet was some 5 years ago, and for the last 3 years, I've been very much. We've been under the umbrella of Karen. We've taken an awful lot of advice from Karen, both legal and financial, and it really has equipped us to move Astrojet forward very quickly. And our growth plans over 36 months are quite phenomenal. And we just have this benefit of never having aircraft sitting around, not flying. We literally have the ability to take an aircraft for 6 months, to fly a program, and then, so to speak, we can give the airplane back to the owners, and they can fly something different. So we can really fly the peak parts of the seasons, the times when we can obtain most revenue for the seats we sell, and then during those times where revenue is low or capacity is not so required, we can release the airplanes back. It's a really unique opportunity for us and the travelling public, and of course the shareholders of the SBCO.
But it sounds extremely efficient, and I'm sure shareholders listening and the potential investors are doing the ka-ching sound every time they hear revenues. Oh, that's pretty impressive. All right.
I'm sure.
Thank you, Mr. Edwards.
Thank you.
I'm definitely sure. It's amazing when you shareholders all they keep they perk up when they hear revenue streams. Especially when there's multiple revenue streams.
We have multiple revenue streams. Yes.
I can see that, Ms. Person. That's definitely you can see that. There's no doubt about that. Well, Ms. Person, I mean, what do you think makes SBCO a good investment for potential investors? I mean, more importantly, if you had a 5-minute elevator speech that would represent the excitement of the future of your company, what would it be?
I just think that going into a BDC and not being a huge conglomerate like some of the others are, like the Gulab that is the 400 companies, makes us unique in the concept that I've already run one, that I'm bringing in companies that already have positive EBITDA, that we already have contracts, that we have POs, that we have expertise in running them. I have engineers that I've done businesses for years with that are bringing in a piece of their business into EnviroSafe. We haven't even met Renaissance Entertainment and Media Group. I mean, our film July Moon. We actually have licensed the only tape of the world landing on the moon, and we have those tapes, and that's what July Moon. That's what the movie. I mean, we have so many offers that it's hard to know what to do. I mean, we're now in the last and final process of having the film rated so that it will become a major theatrical release.
Oh, that's amazing stuff. My normal listeners that listen to this show are probably wondering, why I haven't pressured you to go into those companies that you hinted to but didn't discuss. And I'm sitting here thinking, how do I talk to somebody who has a financial background like yourself, CPA background, growing up in the Wall Street world, and very diverse. I mean, there's really not going to be any way of fooling you. So I'll just come out and ask you. Do you want to release any of those names of any of those big companies?
Well, I think I've released some of them, and I really am not at liberty to do that because that would not be kosher. Let me just say that.
I had to try. Well, we've covered a lot of information, and is there anything else you would like to address that I failed to ask you?
Well, I'd just like to say that I'm very excited again and passionate about what I do, and I am a very hard worker, and I work at this all the time, and I believe that I will be successful, and if I'm successful, everyone else will be. One of the things that I have said and have been known to say publicly, so I will say it again, is, I put my money where my mouth is. I would not ask anyone to invest in anything that I have, not substantially invested in myself.
That's impressive. I mean, Ms. Person and Mr. Edwards, I mean, we would like to thank you both. I mean, for taking the time out to speak to our audience, and also we would like to extend to you an open invitation to join us any time on this show in the future. We would absolutely love to see SBCO during its growth path, and the revenue streams coming in. I mean, it sounds like some very, very exciting stuff.
Well, we would love to be back. If you would welcome us back to the show, we would be delighted to participate.
Anytime.
Yeah, we appreciate you inviting us. It's been a pleasure.
Anytime. Well, thank you, and have a very good evening. And that was a lot of great stuff. Very impressed with the stuff that you guys have going on. Thanks again.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too. Well, that was Ms. Karen Person, the Chairman, CEO, President of Select Business and Corporation Opportunities, Inc., SBCO, as well as Mr. Simon Edwards, the Board of Director, member of SBCO, and CEO of Astrojet. Wow, guys. Ms. Person has game, doesn't she?
Yeah, I would say so.
That law, finances, the whole 9 yards. I mean, however that process happened, and I haven't dug into that to figure out, where she got placed as far as taking over this company and doing so. Mm-hmm. But it clearly sounds like she's coming in there, shaking the trees, and this is the way we're going. We're getting ready to take this hill. You better catch up. I mean, is that how you guys took that?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Well, they brought her in. They asked her to come in, and from what I had gathered here, she's got a huge network of people, which is going to be, very good.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, every time I hear her name, you guys know what I think. Right?
I think most people probably think that.
I mean, and she didn't say it, so I'm like, and I didn't want to ask it, but the what was the show?
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's right, Miss Hillary Banks, if I remember.
But I believe
that's one of the roles.
And I'm glad she said this, and she didn't say anybody in particular, but she did say that she keeps in touch with all her previous contacts in all her businesses.
Right.
So you put one and one together, and you got at least one major movie star available to her.
Well, I'm sure there's many.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying.
Many.
Well, we could put one and one together right away.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And, this Astrojet sounds. I never heard of such a thing. Have you?
No, but it makes perfect sense. I mean, think about the efficiency of that is what is amazing.
Yeah.
So you book the flight pieces, and if in your downtime you don't get if you don't need the aircraft, you're not paying for it.
Basically,
I mean, it's awesome.
You have zero overhead at that point, right? I mean, just a general operating costs, a couple of phone lines or whatever. Like I said, I've never heard of that before, and I was kind of confused when he says he's not a real airline, but that he has access to airlines. That's just like I said, never heard of it. Never heard of ice cream on an airline before.
Oh yeah, amazing. I want to touch on one thing about her personality, and only because I was fooled and I probably feel bad. Well, you know what I mean.
Yep.
I mean, she was unbelievably articulate, strong, and very focused and knows exactly what she's doing and how she's going to do it.
Oh yeah.
That emanated power, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I don't look at those qualities when I look at an actress or a thespian or any of those things, and clearly I was wrong on that because she's very diverse and she packs a punch. There is no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them back on the show. That'd be nice.
You know what else is exciting is that the company SBCO is very well diversified. Green energy. She was talking about food and beverage. So anytime. And what she also said was, she could sign people that she could look at and say, all right, we already have POs or we have orders for this or, this is in line to go here. What better place could you be in, really?
Was she talking the movie, too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's got to be some big ones coming. This is the shareholders of SBCO. I bet you they're pretty excited, and I'm sure there's somebody that's done some deep due diligence on this company. And I'm going to dig after we're done the show, actually, to tell you the truth.
And prior to the show, we were conversing with her, and she said to us, she gave us a comment of, I'm not a very good interviewee. I'm a good interviewer, not a very good. She did excellent, I thought.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm hoping I lived up to her standards. She used to have her own financial shows and everything else. Yep. She could turn around and do this probably much better than I can. You guys just throw me into the pit and say go.
Go run with it.
No, she really impressed me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys caught this, but she hinted at one of these companies is pretty well known. She didn't say who it was, but she said they're well known.
Well, I got a couple notes here where I'm going to do some Google searches. I think I can figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, another CEO interview. Very well done, Mr. Kopp.
Thanks.
As usual. I don't think you really ruined what you didn't get no definite on any PRs though for us this time. You've been doing well with that lately, and you kind of dropped the ball on this one. What happened?
Because I just figured something out.
Okay.
The strong female CEO just intimidated the crap out of me, and I shrunk up like a terrible little interviewer.
Uh-oh.
That's what happened. So, so I'm going to have to reduce the amount of females that I'll be interviewing in the future.
You did get the update on Pink Sheets, though.
That's right.
That's
right.
So.
Well, there's a couple of them I was trying to get in there, but what angle was I going to use? She would have known.
Yeah, probably.
So, No, she did really, really well. I'm very impressed with her. I really am.
All right. That was our segment of the CEO interview with SBCO tonight. We're going to take a small commercial break here, and we'll be back with the top 10 iHub, Investors Hub, breakout boards for today. We'll take a look at what they were chatting about, what worked, what didn't, and who was the most popular over there. This is STT Radio. Don't forget, Sunday, this Sunday, 7 p.m., we have yet another CEO interview for you. We have another one lined up for Wednesday, which should be very exciting. And then we have one way down in the future. Mr. Kopp, do you want to give that out on the radio?
Oh, that's right.
You're sick news and you knew.
Yeah, Mr. Peter Kirsch of he's the CEO of Guard Dog, which is 15 Seconds of Fame, and very huge resume, absolutely huge. And not an easy interview to pull, and we were able to get that today. And I'm sure there are a couple thousand shareholders that are pretty excited over that. And that I think that is on the 22nd of February, that Wednesday.
We're going to quadruple up the servers for that one.
Yeah, it's going to be that one's going to be pretty big. And I can tell you a big one. The next one we do with SBCO is going to be a pretty damn big one. You mark my words on that. I can see where this is going.
You know, I want to say one thing about SBCO that I don't know if anybody clocked. That float must be tiny. I mean, this thing has moved tremendously with not very much money going through it. You know?
Yeah. I was looking at the chart and all that. You're right. You're absolutely right.
I mean, just today I was watching because we obviously knew what was coming up tonight, but I was watching the L2 today, and that thing ran from. I want to say it started at just over 5 cents, maybe 5.2 area, and just walked its way up to 8 in like no time. 15, 20 minutes maybe 15, 20 minutes. So from 5.2 to 8 in like nothing. But it did fall back a little bit, but that's to be expected in a play that has nothing but up days in it. I mean, every single day has been an update. I think today was the first in quite a while.
Well, you got a lot of people taking profits. I mean, some of these people are in double zeros, you know.
Oh, yeah. You always have to accept for profit taking and then hope that you find a new base higher than your original base and then just keep working that way. So,
did you guys catch the power to this company? Did you guys catch it?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, look at the diversity. I mean, food, travel, leisure, entertainment, real estate. Geez.
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Here's what separates this company in that BCD concept compared to many of these other companies. They exist already.
Right.
These companies are pumping revenue right now.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
I mean, and that that's huge. There's no R&D. There's no phase 1, phase 2. This is we're marching and what SBCO does is they make them more efficient. They make them leaner. They make them, you know what I mean? They make them money by getting money.
Letting them grow.
Brilliant.
And the beautiful part about it is she gets to sit back and pick and choose which one she wants to go with, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like it's a forced hand and it's not like a company out there with one product or, a couple of products and you're kind of stuck in that little realm right there, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Here, she's so diversified that throughout the year, let's say one industry has a little downtime throughout the year, she has 7 others still running.
Yep.
So
that's good thought.
It looks very, very good. The future is bright. Okay, let's take a small commercial break, and we'll be back, and we will go over the top 10 breakout boards for today on Investors Hub. We'll be right back after these words.
PennyChatterStocks.com, where our network becomes your game. There is no need for 6 or 7 sites to track your penny stock buds. We've got chat, forums, blogs. You can integrate your Twitter, Facebook, Google+, MailChimp emailers all on one site so that your following comes with you. All it comes down to is the network, www.pennychatterstocks.com.
Stock Sumo, where we outweigh the competition. pushing and shoving our way to extreme profits in the penny stock arena. Go to StockSumo.com today to sign up for our free alerts via email or text message. StockSumo.com, where the gains are groundbreaking. Don't just take our word for it. Find out firsthand by heading over to StockSumo.com, home of the real heavy hitters.
Welcome back to Stock Traders Talk Radio. I'm your host, STT. Joining me on my program tonight, that's right, my program, I have Cop and Hans, a short little crew tonight. Small crew.
We're tight.
It's tight. It's easier this way. Nobody interrupting me all night long. Sumo. Unbelievable. Now, let's run through the top 10 breakout boards on Investors Hub. Now, I know people don't want me saying this, especially I know one of the people on the radio with me right now would not like me to say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. We are currently waiting on a phone call here at Stock Traders Talk Radio. That could change our radio station forever. I'm very excited. Still waiting for that phone call, though. When is that coming? Call me already. Jesus. I can't take it anymore. Come on, seriously, Cop, can you take it anymore?
No, it's tough.
I can't. It's got to be tomorrow, right?
I don't know. Just deal with it, buddy. It's all good.
Killing me. All right. Who's going to start us off? Am I going to start us off? I'm going to start us off because I want to start with number 18. I know I said the top 10. I want to start with number 18. Number 18 was ALZM. Now, for those that listen to the radio station regularly and also like to join me in the Stock Traders chat room, Stock Traders Talk chat room, God, I can't speak English, you'll know that I was big on ALZM for a long time. Long time. Since early January, if I remember correctly, maybe even December. Saying it's going to go. It's going to go. It's going to go. Right? Cop? Yes?
Oh, yeah. I'm back, yeah.
Okay. And I had a couple guys that said, okay, STT, I'm going to follow you on in that one. I said, okay, but it's long. I said to them, long. A week later, they're like, what's going on with ALZM? I said to them, long, meaning 3 to 6 months minimum. Well, I was wrong. If you had purchased when I had said to purchase, you would have been up 140% on that call. Now, today obviously was a down day for us, and I was a little disappointed, but still high on ALZM. Liking it. Now, let's go to number 10, breakout board on Investors Hub for today. Number 10 was Drake Gold Resources Corp, DKGR. Does anybody know what's going on over there?
They haven't actually sat there and said whether they found oil or anything like that, but clearly it had a pop, and it was trading at the 7.8 area, 0.007 to 0.008, popped up to, actually, I think it may have touched 20 today. It definitely touched 19, and then fell back down after 22 million in volume. But it fell back down to 0.0012. So you're talking, 8 ticks. So you're talking approximately, a good percentage out of the cut there. But, news is supposedly in the air, so we're checking that.
Okay. All right. Number 9 was a company that we're quite familiar with, Renewing. Yeah, RENU, formerly Shaka Shoes, SHKZ, as we all know. Well, what's going on there? Big pop, huh?
Yeah, they're doing a couple of them actually during the day. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
The basically it closed at 0.0050, but opened up that 39. But with the name change it actually had from Shaka, it popped right up to like 90.
I saw over a penny, wasn't it, at one point?
Yeah, it popped all the way up to a penny, came back down, and then started trading. Not a lot of shares actually traded. 3.714,000.
Mm-hmm.
So a whole bunch of things happening right there, and we'll see what's going to go on. But I know their shareholders have been waiting for that for a little while.
Can I ask you a question about the volume?
Yeah.
Is it possible that some brokers couldn't trade today?
Oh, I'm sure.
Okay, so that's always a possibility that, when you do these name changes and everything, that your brokers aren't updated in time.
Oh, absolutely, because you would expect that many people, if it goes up to a penny, there's going to be a whole bunch of people jumping ship, knowing that, let's grab the top, sell, and then wait for the next channel. So, and that didn't happen, so it wasn't a lot.
I would like to personally congratulate Mr. James Scott on follow-through on this one. He was on our radio show, did the interview, said this stuff was coming, just to hang in there with him, and here you go.
Yeah.
So if you want to listen to an old interview, it's not really that old. What was it, 3 weeks ago maybe?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to catch up on what Shaka, at the time, that was their ticker symbol, SHKZ, now RENU. He said in the interview, name changes coming and lots of good stuff to follow. So that's something that you might want to keep an eye on. That's for sure. All right, number 8 on the breakout boards on Investors Hub is, wow, what a surprise, the Small Business Company, SBCO. I think we've heard enough about that.
Yeah, it was up pretty good yesterday and today.
Oh, yeah, huge volume today.
What was the volume?
3.5 million.
Oh, wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I want to say that they weren't, what were they averaging? 500,000 maybe?
Something like that.
So, definitely a big day. Okay, number 7 on the breakout boards was Alternative Energy Partners, AEGY.
Oh, love that one.
Oh, yeah.
Love that one. You know why I love that one? That thing found bottom and is kicking right back up. I think it closed at what it closed at, 0.0028 today? Something like that?
Hold on.
Double check.
I was just checking out time. 0028 is correct.
Yep. Up 16% with 3.8 million in volume, but it has a staircase up from that 11:30 time, just driving up. And the bottom line is because it's found a bottom. If you pull that chart out, take a look at that because you got a little ways to go there. I'm looking at I would call it the 0.0041. So you got a good another 35, 36% that you can actually pull there before you're even, looking at for the resistance. So whoever's in that stock, pretty excited for them.
Yeah,
the CMF on that's off the wall too.
Yeah, that thing's going to go pretty good.
So that's something to keep on watch, you're thinking?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. That thing, that's what you look for, right? When you look for a stock that's been going down for a while and has a confirmed bottom and then starts popping back up because people don't like to sell for a loss.
Right. And
normally people don't sell to break even. So the supply and demand equation comes into play and, which drives it up. So, as long as the demand outweighs the supply, the thing's going to keep on going.
Okay. All right. Number 6 on the breakout board is ICOA. Am I saying that right? ICOA. Not really familiar with this one, so I can't talk about it really.
You don't remember this one?
No, I don't.
Well, this one, I got nothing good to say about it. It traded 255 million shares at the 0.0001, closing down 50%. Mm-hmm. But it really traded ones all day today on news. Now, that always concerns me because if you're trading that much, on news, then that means you're diluting, and this is your last hurrah. And you're going to drive this thing to no bid. So, and that potentially could be the case. Who knows? But it's not good in the sense for what it is. I mean, that type of volume, that type of news shouldn't be trading there.
So most of the trades today were at the 0001 level, not the 0002, huh?
Correct.
Yep. Okay, I have to agree with you. That's not a good sign at all. Okay, number 5 on the breakout boards is Black Castle Developments, BCDH. What do we know about this one? Because I don't know anything.
What do you mean you don't know anything?
Sorry, I'm lost on this one.
Are you serious?
It's a new symbol to me, I think.
What's that symbol?
BCDH.
BCDH.
BCDH traded beautifully today, okay? Just beautiful. It had news today, right? Development Holding completes due diligence on a shine and moves forward with acquisition. But here's the deal: this stock closed at 0.085, and it traded over 4 million shares.
I see that.
Very, very, very nice movement. But here's the thing: had the pop in the morning, drove up to the 0.086 area, right? In 8.7, it channel traded from 8 to 0.087. That's what you want. You're looking for channels, right? This thing on that high volume traded down to the channel, went down to the bottom, and then started staircasing up. 8.2, then 8.4, then 8.5. So clearly, if there was any form of dilution, they got out what they needed to get out, and now you're on the staircase format. And it closed up 6%, which is always nice because not many stocks. And I don't know if it's being promoted. I'm just simply saying that looking at what I'm looking at, is pretty has a pretty solid trend to what's going on there.
Okay, number 4 on the breakout boards. Double Crown Resources Inc. DDCC. David Charles. Up 56% today on 3.4 million in volume. Any idea what's going on there?
No. But I will tell you this: that looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
That one uptrend there.
0.039 up 56%, 3 million, and you got a staircase up, which slows down at 3 o'clock. Going into the power hour, and just goes a little sideways, and nobody bails on it.
Mm-hmm.
That thing's going up.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody. I mean, that's a damn good percentage for people not to be taking profits from, and they did, which means those shares are getting solid hands. That thing's mark that one down. What is that? DDCC.
Yep.
Yeah,
double D's, double C's.
Yeah, they just found a buyer at 0.930.
Okay. Congratulations, buyer. All right. 3 night breakout boards. Inter-Canadian Business Services, ICBT. I saw a lot of buzz on this one this morning.
That huge volume again, right? Closed it. It traded between 0.0002 and 4, with 147 million in trades. So it popped to the 4, didn't last long, came back down to the 3, so it closed up to 50%. But a lot of good players out there in iHub on this one. Quick Draw's running, or I'm not sure if he's running it, but he's definitely all over the play. Mm-hmm. Who else we got on there? Green Machine, Stock Momo, all those guys. I mean, they move stocks. You guys know the deal. But the thing that was odd about looking at this, there wasn't much left on the ask. I mean, and I think you might be able to get a gapper on this one tomorrow.
All right. I'm sorry. We're running low on time. So number 2 was the Bull Economist. That's just a private board. Number 1 for today on the breakout boards was Building Turbines, Inc., BLDW. Closed red, down 1/10 of a penny. Okay, guys. Great show tonight. Good job, everybody. We'll be back Sunday at 7 p.m. Don't forget, we got another exclusive CEO interview for you Sunday night. You're not going to want to miss this one. Trust me. I normally don't tell people this. Don't miss this interview. It's a shocker. This is STT Radio. Wishing you the best tomorrow and all your trading days. STT Radio, and we're out.
Thank you for listening to Stock Traders Talk Radio. All views and topics talked about on Stock Traders Talk Radio is solely for entertainment purposes. We are not professional financial advisors and always recommend you seek the advice of a professional financial advisor. Never invest in any stock featured on our show unless you can afford to lose your entire investment. The information contained on our show is based on sources which we believe to be reliable, but is not guaranteed by us as being accurate, and might not be a complete statement or summary of the available data. Stock Traders Talk Radio advises that the investments in companies profiled are